I suspect that eventually somebody may actually sort of be sacrificed, but it won't be enough.
From a cookie to a palace in the sky, Alberta has seen many top officials resign or remove due to scandal. But after a year and a half of a pandemic and some major political pitfalls, top government officials are still in power.
He has made error after error. Too little, too late, time and again throughout this pandemic.
From Aloha Gate to being missing in action, Lori Williams says it's a bit shocking there hasn't been a major shakeup in leadership.
Alison Redford resigning for far less, or other premiers resigning for much less.
In 2014, then Premier Alison Redford was dealing with dissension in her caucus, but it was her questionable use of taxpayer dollars, a government plane, and the building of the Sky Palace that brought her down.
As the expression says, the straw that broke the camel's back. That one thing that just takes it quite beyond.
The Sky Palace, a personal suite later built for nearly $3 million atop the new federal building in Edmonton, was the scene for a summer scandal for Jason Kenney. He was photographed having dinner and some Jameson on the rooftop patio with several cabinet ministers, and no one was following proper COVID protocols. While there are always people on social media frustrated by the government, right now the ire isn't just focused on Kenney. Dr. Dina Hinshaw has been called out for her absenteeism during this fourth wave of the pandemic. Both she and Kenney did not hold COVID updates as numbers soared in late August.
Balanced and moderate critics who are calling for the resignation of everyone involved with this, particularly the health minister, Dina Hinshaw, because she was allegedly behind the recommendations that led to these policies.
And when she did appear in an address to her physician colleagues, she did admit she made some mistakes, but some found her demeanor off-putting.
I just want to thank you for still talking to me. I know that there's a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of exhaustion out there.
While some doctors lay blame for unnecessary COVID deaths at her feet, Hinshaw is still the chief medical officer of health. But top health officials have been fired for less.
Excuse me, Mr. Duckett, do you mind just taking a few minutes with me just to answer some questions?
Back in 2010, President and CEO of Alberta Health Services, Stephen Duckett, famously chomped on a cookie instead of answering reporters' questions.
I'm interested in eating my cookie.
5 days later, the cookie crumbled and he was fired from his post.
There were all kinds of issues around healthcare services that were swirling, and that criticism got magnified when someone seemed to be completely insensitive to the plight and suffering of Albertans. A serious issue was dealt with in a cavalier, insensitive way.
While Williams thinks it's only time until someone is sacrificed, she doesn't expect it to be anyone at the top.
Jason Kenney doesn't seem to be willing to take responsibility or respond effectively to the concerns that are being raised.
In Calgary, Tara Overholt, City News.